My name is Brad Montgomery. I do the lion's share of the SEO and conversion for Darling. When I'm not doing SEO and conversion for Darling, I'm doing it for myself. I mean, this is what I love to do, so I do day in and day out. So I can give you a behind the scenes look at one of my sites so you can kind of see how SEO works and the time frame and everything like that. So hopefully this is insightful for you. All right, so the site we're going to be looking at today is vapepinstarterkit.com. It's just one of my blogs. Let's take a look at some of the keywords. So these are the keywords. I mean, you're familiar with these reports, you've seen some. So here are the volumes. So like, 9,000, 8,000, number 2. So a keyword like that is generally kind of competitive. They take a while to rank for. So like something like that, you're not going to rank for within the first month. Like it's just, it could happen, but it's probably not going to. So as you see, once you get towards the top of the search engine, it takes longer to climb to the next spot. So like this keyword took a 2-month view. In December, I was number 3 mainly. You see it just hovers at number 3. And it bounces up a little bit to number 2. Then it gets stabilized at number 2, and you may bounce down a little bit to number 3, but it's just like it's a slow climb. Like once you get to the top, you get kind of stable within the top 3 spots. People bounce around a little bit, but you just inch up. And so I've been at number 2 pretty much for the last month. It may take another month or 2 to get to number 1, but that's just kind of how SEO works. And so we send the daily reports, and it's really for more if you want to get a feel for how SEO works. And you don't have to get a feel for it, but some people want to really know how it works. So it lets you get a feel. So as you can see, like these top spots, like all these number 2s and 1s, you see yesterday they were 1 and 2, only one of them wasn't. A week ago they were 1 and 2. A month ago, 1, 2, 1s and 2s. Like once you get to the top 3 spots, it gets a lot more stable and you won't see the big jumps. But when you're not in the top of the search engines, Google, they move you around a lot. Like you'll bounce around like crazy, which is you can really see that in the daily reports. Like your site has been bouncing already, and I'm sure it was bouncing before we even started working on it, because if you're not on the top of the first page, it will bounce. So I'm trying to see if I have any big bounces I can show you, but it's a lot more stable on the first page, especially at the top. So here's a 26th position bounce. Okay, so a month ago, this was at position 32. Now this is a high volume keyword, and it's a very lucrative keyword. Best and product name, those convert really well. So these are more competitive keywords. So a month ago I was 32, then I dropped to 41, now I'm at 15. But that's just kind of how Google dances. There's a thing called the Google dance. Like if you search Google dance, it's all about how Google plays with your rankings. But they try and get people to freak out, over-optimize their site, because they try and catch people who are doing more shady tactics. So yeah, when you see your site drop from 32 to 41, some people freak out. I like it. I like it when a site does that. And that lets me know that Google's going to move it higher, and they're just kind of testing me to see if I freak out at 41 and then start over-optimizing my site, sending a bunch of links, things like that. I mean, as long as you don't do that, you play it cool, you'll watch the rankings increase. So this is now 15. I expect it to get to the first page in a month and a half, 2 months, but once it gets to the first page, it's going to be a slower climb. But I mean, SEO is a long-term game. It's all about keeping your composure and not freaking out. So here's a very similar keyword: best vaporizer pen, best vape pens. This one did the same thing: 26, 44, 15, 19. It'll dance around until it gets to the first page. But best vaporizer pen and best vape pens are very similar keywords. A lot of times Google ranks the similar keywords together. So these are newer articles. I just wrote those last week. So they just got indexed 50, 45. Once your site is stronger, like this one, a lot of times you get articles indexed on the second page, first page within a week. It doesn't really happen with weaker sites unless the keyword is a really easy keyword. But like my site, it's not jumping around as much, but if we would look deeper into a keyword, you'll probably see a lot of movement. So we could just pick a random keyword. I don't know, maybe like this one and see if it's moved around. So you see this keyword's been as high as number 18. Right now it's 36. So keywords just dance around a lot, but you see the trend is slowly upwards. Back in December, it was in the 40s. And it's jumped around 20s, 18, and now it's hovering around in the 30s. I mean, and that's fine. This is an article. I haven't really done any work to it, and I wrote it. Sometimes you write an article, you don't even have to promote it when you have a strong site. It just slowly moves up and up and up and up over time. But like when you do SEO, it just takes time for Google to acknowledge all that work and give you the credit for it. So it really is. It's a long-term game. So we can have a look at this site in another tool. So here is Vaping Circuit, and this is just domain rating. It's the strength Ahrefs, which is the tool we're using. They just updated how to calculate domain rating. So it didn't really like get weaker and drop 26. They just changed the way they calculate it. So we'll just work from 15 from here on out. And this site it's not 2 years old yet, maybe a year and a half, roughly about a year and a half old. So it's ranking for 11,000 keywords in the US, and it ranks in Canada, Great Britain, Australia, all different places. These are all incidental. Like, I don't try to rank in those places because all the customers come from the US. Like a lot of these companies don't ship outside the US. So that will also happen on your site too. You just start ranking everywhere. Like once the site gets stronger. But if you look, when I started this site, this is December 2016. So a year and a few months ago. It was ranking for 146 keywords. And had 3 referring domains, 10 backlinks coming to it. You see nothing in the top 3, only 1 keyword in the top 10, which was probably the brand name, and started getting on the second page. That was December 2016. So 1 year and 2 months ago. And I also took a screenshot 4 months later, which was really, it may have been about 6 months later. I think I started the site in November, October 2016. And so in about 4 to 6 months, it was then ranking for 500 keywords, and it had 20 keywords on the first page. And now you look at it a year from then, and it's 11,000 keywords. So it's like, it took about 6 months to get indexed for roughly 600 keywords, and to get 20 of those on the first page, that took 6 months. But in a year time span after that 6 months, it's now 11,000 keywords, and it's 51 in the top 3 spots. 51 that I'm tracking manually. This doesn't include keywords I'm not tracking. I mainly just track keywords that make money. So there's probably hundreds of keywords in the top 3, top 5 spots. And the top 10 spots from 4 to 10, 80 more keywords. You see, it lost 16, but this gained 20. So those 16 probably moved up to the top 3. But yeah, that's how it works. It's exponential. Like the first 6 months was tough to get the 600 keywords, and to get 20 of those on the first page, and just in the bottom of the first page, in the first 6 months. But in the 1 year after that, like 20 times that amount of keywords are indexed, and way more on the first page. Google's just kind of slow like that. So when you look at the keywords, you'll see things like this. This happens a lot. This is not an article I promoted. It's not really a money-making article. I just wrote it, and over time it just keeps climbing higher and higher. See, this jumps 6 spots to number 1. That's kind of rare, but it was probably at number 1 before and slid down. But you also get things like quotes, like rich snippets when your site is optimized right. So see, this is my site. When you search it, I come up in the rich snippet box because I'm optimized for it. You see, I have several of those. It's the same article, but this is a better keyword. This is A keyword with like heavy buying intent. There's a better one. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this one has heavy buying intent. I'm number 2 for it, and it gets decent volume. It's 2,600 searches a month. And so when you look at the rankings for this keyword over the past year, this is the climb to the top. So in April of 2017, I'm 39, 38. And this article is actually older than that. So before that, you could just assume I was lower. But you see it climb quickly from April on the 4th page of Google, and it jumped up to the 2nd page. Now this is an article that I actively promoted. I didn't promote it really heavily. I mean, I worked on a lot of articles. I just promoted them, a lot of articles at the same time. So this has like a medium level of promotion. So you see it jump to the 2nd page quickly, but it kind of stayed there and bounced around. Hovered on the 2nd page for months as it slowly just climbed up. Then it got to the 1st page, and it stayed on the 1st page and bounced around between position 9, 4, 5, 7. And then it got another boost, and then it hovered at position 3. Now this is when the climb gets slower. As you see, this is a little more sporadic. It bounces around. Google dances your site around. I probably did a promotion right here, and after you do a promotion, a lot of times they will, like, you get guest posts and links and things like that. After you do that, they'll drop you. So they drop you to 35. So what really they're trying to do is you're getting links, you're promoting your site. Then they drop it. They kind of try and get you to freak out a little bit. Like, oh no, did I get bad links? Did I over-optimize it? Or maybe I need to get some more links to make up for it. So some people will freak out, over-optimize their site, and they ruin it. Then it stays down page 30 or page 4. I didn't. So just kind of chilled, worked on other articles, let Google catch up to the work I did. And then it bounces back up even higher. So that's kind of how I know I sent a link around this time, a couple of guest posts, because it dropped and it went higher than it was before the drop. Probably did more promotion and back. Drops again, but it didn't drop as low as the other one, but it could have. But it drops temporarily for a couple days, bounces back up and goes higher. And then it kind of stabilized and then slowly climbed. But as you see, like in October, got to number 4. Then climbed up to number 3. It was at 4 just for, a week. They got to number 3, stayed at number 3 from October through January, through the beginning of January. And then it bounces up to number 2, down to number 3. As you see now, it's been at number 3 for half a month, or number 2 for half a month, almost a month now. Just steady at number 2, not bounce around so much. It might bounce down to number 3 for a week or 2, bounce back up to number 2, then go to number 1. But this is pretty much the journey for any keyword, and it could bounce even more than this. Google is very sporadic with the Google dance, or the sandbox, some people call it. This is pretty much going to be the journey. It's just, there's not really a way around it other than, there's really not a way around it. The only way you can kind of get around it is just with, like, social media metrics help a lot. If an article is really popular, it goes viral on Facebook and Twitter, things like that. I mean, Google sees that, so if millions of people are demanding this article, it will get to the top of the search engine. That's really kind of the only way to avoid this journey right here. But for most of the keywords you rank for, this is going to be how the journey looks. So you don't freak out when you see the drops and the movements. That's just how Google works until you get to the top 3 spots, and it's a lot more calm. And so here's the blog, and we can go into the back end. So here are the search engine referrals. And it must have got a good bump up this day, because at 9,000 visitors that day. I mean, usually it's right around 2,500, 3,000 visitors, right in that time frame. But as keywords bounce around, you will see things like this. I could add a really high keyword, bounce into the top 3, maybe back down to 7, 4, 5, something like that. All right, so we look at a 1-year chart of Vaping Starter Kit. All right, here's what the traffic looks like. So last year, this time in February, the site was relatively new. The site was relatively new. Oh, perfect. February 4th. That's when this screenshot was taken. 20 keywords on the first page, ranking for 600 keywords. And so that's right in this month, February. And you see that's only getting 9 visitors a day, because it's not about being on the first page. It's about being in the top 5 spots, preferably top 3. That's really where all the action happens. I mean, spot 1 and 2 that's prime real estate. So as you can see, with 20 keywords in the top 10, that was only getting 9 visitors a day, 10 visitors a day, things like that from Google. And so you see it took some time. By March, that's just 1 month later, 54 visitors a day. So in the first 6 months, got to 12 visitors a day, but by March, 40, 50 visitors a day. About the same in April, it's like 50s. By May, 80 visitors. Kind of hovered around 60 to 80. In June, 80, 90. We're starting to see 150, 170. So that was a slow growth back from February to June to get to 186 visitors a day organically from Google. But then you see the chart starts to climb a lot more. So from July, 222 visitors, to July 15th, 325. July 16th, 529. So that, right around that time frame, must have got a keyword or two into the top 3. So 400, 500, August 600, September 1,000 visitors a day. By the end of September, 1,200. October, you see it just grows. But even the chart, you see how that bounces around. It just reflects the way Google bounces around a little bit as well. Charts always look like this. They take a dip and then they go higher, which just coincides right with how Google ranks sites. They give you a dip and they bump you up a little higher. And with the larger keywords, like the 8,000 search volume, the 20,000, you'll start getting traffic from those keywords on the second page. Like the top of the second page, traffic starts to trickle. And so you'll see a lot of these kind of bounces in Google Analytics as well. But just fast forward several months, October 2017 to, December 2017, 2,000 visitors. 2,400, now 2,900, 2,800, 3,200, 3,100. So it's just a slow incline in the beginning. It's hard to even see on a bigger chart, but when the campaign starts getting more mature, the growth accelerates. Let's look at the beginning of that. So here's the February chart. You see it's very, very up and down. This is when the site was young. And you look more at the back half of the campaign. You see just steady growth, but it just gets higher and higher and higher. But so yeah, that's kind of SEO work. That's kind of the time frame. You're not going to see much ROI in the first several months. Your site isn't brand new, so that helps. But the campaign's new and building strength to the site is new, so it's still, the new keywords are still going to bounce around and things like that. So this is we're going to look at one of my test sites. I have a lot of sites, somewhere north of 70 or so. I don't know, I don't really keep count. I just have a lot of spreadsheets. Some sites I build just for testing, like this site. It's not a site I've worked on past the first week I built it. So this is credit repair review.com, which review wasn't available, so you see it's a shared R, so it's credit repair. Keep that same R for review.com. That's just side I threw up. As you see, it ranks number 4 for this keyword, credit repair myths exposed. Cool. So the whole point of this site was really just to test socials. You see it only has 5 confirmed domains, 7 backlinks, and these are probably all from social media sites. And Ahrefs only seeing 3 keywords, probably ranks for a couple more. I don't know, it's not a big site. It's a pretty I threw it up in, I don't know, a day, 2 days. I built some social media profiles for it, and I kind of forgot about it. I did this, I want to say last year in April. So it gets organic traffic, 19 visitors a day, which is cool. It's not it's just a test site, so that doesn't really matter. But the whole point of this site was kind of just to see how Google reacted to different things. So you see the links going to this site are all social media profiles. So Storify, Audioboom, P-Base, ClickBloom, this is kind of a directory. This was just, I guess, a natural kind of crappy link. It's a no-follow link, so it doesn't really matter. But I didn't make that link. That seems to be, those things happen all the time. They're weird little syndicated sites. But so these are mainly just social media profiles, and that's all this site has. It has more than this, but this is how many Ahrefs picked up. I may have built 14 to 20 social media sites, social media profiles for the site, just to see how it affected the site. As you see, it reached the first page for, it's not a very competitive keyword, but credit repair myths exposed. Just a decent keyword, one that doesn't have direct buyer intent, but I could definitely make money with that keyword with ads and, third-party offers and things like that. Like, this person is definitely interested in credit repair. So it's not the hardest keyword in the world, it doesn't have 10,000 search, but it does bring organic visitors, and it is in a field where the CPC is high for credit repair. So, that actually could be a site that could be turned into a money-making site. It's just a test site for me, though, just to kind of see how Google reacted. But it's number 4 for credit repair myths exposed, based solely on socials. It doesn't have any guest posts, any links, anything like that. It's just to kind of see how Google reacts to the socials. And so that's what we've done for less. That's the first thing we usually do for a site. We build out a bunch of socials and citations. And so that's one of the first things we did so far. So these are a bunch of socials with links to us, do follow links, and then we also have a bunch with no follow. Maybe about 120 or so total. For my sites, I usually build up to 300 over time, so maybe like 100, this month, 100 in a month and a half or 2 months, and just over time, I build out about 300. And these are like nice, safe links from trusted sites. Like in Google's eyes, these sites are very authoritative. So you don't get the same credit as you would get for a guest post or something like that, but as you see, like, it does work. It does. You can get to the first page alone with just social media links. And I do it all the time. I build all kinds of socials for my site. So, these are something that will be in the next report. But, so this, and we've got a couple guest posts approved. Just got to get the posts on the site now. That's a process that takes time. But SEO, you really have to trust the process. It's a long-term game. But if you trust the process and just, it can be kind of nerve-wracking. Like, when I first got into it, I used to check my rankings every day, sometimes twice a day, and just oh no, it dropped. Like, I knew about the Google dance, but experiencing the Google dance is different than knowing about it. But so yeah, that's a little look into how SEO works in the time frame for things. As far as measuring ROI goes, for that, it's pretty much Google Analytics. Google Analytics and conversion tracking, you can see where the sales are coming from. So once there's more keywords than the top 3 spots, you'll be able to see a certain amount of sales came from organic traffic, but see it takes time, so it's going to be a minute before that's useful. Right now, I'm looking at Google Analytics, and like, I don't see much, but over time, it works. But another thing But this keyword, see, it's number 4 now. So back in September, it's number 9. So from September to now, it's number 4. And I haven't worked on the site since, I believe it was April 2017. So, I mean, that also means that the work we do now will still be kicking in for months. If I wanted the site to rank faster, I would have done more work. So we're doing work, you get links to a site, you build socials. Within the first month, you may see a dance. Within the second month, you may see it go higher. It could be 3-4 months. At Google, it's seemingly random, of course, the algorithm, but sometimes you see the work kick in faster than others. It depends on site and keyword, but this site is still benefiting from the socials and the work I did nearly a year ago, like 10 months ago. So the work we're doing now Google kind of drips the link juice. They drip the effects to the site slowly over time. They don't want it to be too easy to get to the top of the search engines. They want it to be a long-term game. They want credible sites, at the top. They don't want anybody in their mom's basement to be able to build a site and rank it in a day. You would have all kind of crap at the top of the search engine. And right now, with Google being the best search engine available, they're happy with their results. Why should they take a brand new site or a site that just started getting links and promotions and citations and socials and put it at number 1 right now? The users are already happy with Google. It's the best. And so they kind of have the leverage now. So they deliberately slowed everything down. It's kind of, it's like quality control for them. So they drip the effects of the work we do. So this site's still benefiting from work 10 months ago. And so if I would have worked on this site steadily, it would have looked more like the Vape and Stargate chart, because you get a lot of the effects within the first 3 to 6 months from the kind of campaigns. And so when you're stacking those effects, you're getting a lot of the effects from several different efforts, but then those effects, all the efforts still will drip effects over the course of a year even. So it really, SEO is really, it's a long-term game, but it's also exponential. So you just have to trust the process. I hope this video was helpful and insightful.